May 31st, 1902. Peace was finally declared in the 3-year-long Boer War. It marked the end of a bitterly fought war between Great Britain and 2 Boer states in southern Africa. The Boers were descendants of Dutch, German, and French settlers who had controlled the land for more than 200 years. Disagreements between the Boers and the British were long-standing, but the immediate cause of the war was a demand by Britain that English immigrants living in Boer territory be naturalized and allowed to vote. These immigrants complained of many grievances under Boer rule, and they were numerous enough to outvote the Boers. Therefore, the British demand seemed tantamount to asking that Britons be given political control of the Republic. Alarmed and already distrustful of Britain, the 2 Boer states had formed an alliance and began increasing their armaments. In response, British territories in Africa were reinforced with thousands of additional troops from England. The mounting tensions erupted on October 12, 1899, when the Boers invaded British territory. At first, the civilian fighters were surprisingly successful against Britain's professional soldiers. They won several major battles within the first few months. The tide was turned, however, when reinforcements were sent from England. Major portions of the Boer army were defeated, and on November 29, 1900, the British proclaimed that the war was over and the Boer republics had been annexed. But the war did not end. The Boers dissolved into guerrilla bands and harassed railways and outlying garrisons for another 15 months. The English commander, Lord Kitchener, ordered the countryside cleared of people and farm animals. Herds of cattle and sheep were rounded up, and women and children were forced into refugee camps. Thousands of internees died of disease. Facing the inevitable, the Boers finally surrendered when the British offered generous peace terms. Though small by later standards, the Boer War was the largest British military venture up to that point. Over 500,000 British troops fought over a 3-year period. Once again, British military power added new territory to the colonial empire. The war caused sharp political controversy and reaction against imperialism in Britain. It also marked the first time Canadian, Australian, and New Zealand units fought overseas in an imperial war. In Boer territory, the war resulted in deep-seated bitterness. Nevertheless, it made possible the early unification of southern Africa. In 1910, the defeated Boer states were incorporated into the Union of South Africa. The Boer conflict was one of the first wars of the century, but it would not be the last. Unfortunately, it would prove to be only a training ground for the horrors that lay ahead on the battlefields of World War I.